Good morning. Welcome to Morning Space Chats. I am Zaddy Cat, aka Sun Portal, and
we've got Dread Pirate KK in the house.
Feeling silly. I actually, as always, yes, I will. As always, you can watch our morning space chats on video on Spotify, or you can just listen to us as a regular podcast, wherever you listen to us through podcasts. And please feel free to give us a nice 5-star rating on iTunes if you have iTunes or wherever you can. I realized that I hadn't been putting our contact info in the show notes for a while. So just a reminder that if you ever do want to reach out to it, it's spacecatshappyhour at gmail.com. And then from now on, it'll be in the show notes too. But yeah, we were a bit incognito from there. Today is coming at you June 29th, 2023. We're recording this. Bringing some.
What you got?
Looks a bit gross, but it's just water with a little bit of mango juice in it.
Ooh, nice. That sounds delicious. And you got a little fox on the glass. I love that.
My foxy glass, yeah.
Foxy glass.
Okay, I guess with the date hot off the top, been getting some shout out to my friend Alexandra, but getting some messages from people about this new moon, including Alexandra, that it's going to be a fun one. And it had felt like something with this new moon. I mean, full moon. But
I was going to say that's a
both you and I called it a new moon.
Yeah, pretty
today.
Sure.
And
Lord.
Yeah, there was a whole period where the moons were switching, and full moons would have new moon energy and new moon would have full moon energy. Anywho, this one seems to have new moon energy. It's also, I got a Freaky Friday sync, and I was like, yes, because I specifically remember the last full moon, which was in Sagittarius, did not feel like Sagittarius energy to me.
No, it really didn't.
And this one's in Capricorn, but this one feels like it's Sagittarius energy to me.
I can see that. Yeah. Especially now that I literally joined the show, feeling silly.
Yeah. And it's right next to American Independence Day too. So it has that sovereignty energy, freedom energy to it as well. But yeah, I wanted to bring that in. I don't know if anybody's been feeling other stuff connected to the full moon. I mean, it really for our personal cycle of finishing out our integration and healing work, which was going to end in July, it feels like it's really ushering in the last part of that tiger year. I know that I'm going to see the band Le Tigre on the 21st, so I feel like that's the real goodbye to the tiger finally.
Okay. Oh my gosh. But I know it's so soon, but it's also oh my god, that I have to wait till the 21st. What the fuck?
That might just be me.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense.
But yeah, that feels nice.
It really does, actually. Especially, and we've got the nodes changing signs on the 16th of July, I think. So they're going into Aries and Libra. Big energy shift there. I know we've already talked about this, so we don't really need to say a whole lot more, but definitely when the nodes change signs, because they do it every 18 months. So it's a big energy notice. You'll notice the change in that energy. We had a taste of it already with the Aries eclipse, but
right.
So I feel like we kind of got not a head start, but kind of a preview of stuff coming through. So
when was the Aries eclipse again?
I think it was at the end of April.
Okay. Woo.
Yeah. The very end, because it was so close to being an eclipse in Taurus, but it was just a couple minutes away. It was so, and Aries was nope, we're having a new moon eclipse in Aries. Thank you very much.
As soon as you started talking, there was a vulture circling outside my window. That's why I was kind of looking over there. So
yeah,
a little more purification energy coming.
Recycle that dead stuff. Nice.
As usual, my period is pretty synced up to the full moon right now. And you gave me, over the past 3 months, in the last episode, I was talking about like a lot of body changes where I'm finally feeling like new body stuff coming in. And I've called in over the last 3 months that each period would get less and less and more like more and more pleasant, less and less intense. And it did exactly that. And then you gave me a really good tip for this next one to like look forward to it and like have a different energy of like, so I'm gonna
Yay, it's here.
do that, and it's gonna be around the full moon. So yay. Hooray for
That's
my
good.
period. I also had another funny body update, which is, you know, with these changes, it's like things just leave your life if they're not supposed to. So cosmetics left my life a while ago. I think my skin just did not want anything at all on it.
Yeah.
So even like skincare stuff, like I stopped doing any kind of skincare routine. When I used to have like a really involved one, but now the most recent one is deodorant. And since I left an office job, I pretty much went to like, I would say like 75 to 80% of the time not wearing deodorant, even maybe more, but like they're like, no, you're going 100%.
Okay.
And it is a leap for me because but I think what I'm hoping for, the reason I will sometimes wear deodorant is travel days, or I got like this natural one that was like a clay one, and it had like a cedar scent. So I actually liked it. So it's kind of like would put it on almost as like a scent that I enjoyed.
Yeah.
And that's the one that suddenly disappeared from the house.
Oh, interesting.
And I tried to buy it again, and then the package never got to me. So it was like,
oh my Lord. Stop wearing it, I guess.
Stop wearing it.
Oh no.
But yeah, I felt like I still feel like, oh my God, because around my period, and if I get really stressed and I'm purging stuff, it's not great. But I think that's what they're telling me, is that's going to stop. And I just saw a video yesterday. It was a clip from Ramin Nazar and Shane Moss's podcast, and Shane Moss was talking about how he stopped wearing deodorant, and people were always telling him how amazing he smelled and how amazing his pits smelled and stuff. I was like, okay, I'm
that's
taking
cool.
The plunge.
That's really cool.
Hoping that means my body isn't going to be purging in the same way. And
that's a really
I'm very sensitive to smells, so I do not like to have any kind of smell coming off of me that I don't enjoy.
I'm super sensitive. Yeah, I'm super sensitive, but I still, there's the ones that I like. So it's interesting that you said that you would sometimes use your deodorant as like a scent that you liked, because that's basically what I do. I mean, I still wear it every day, but only because it smells so good. And it's like a natural, obviously, like a deodorant cream, and you just kind of, and I have different smells for different seasons. And like this one, the summer scent that I wear is grapefruit something. Anyway, grapefruit. It's so delicious. And in the winter, I wear like this orange vetiver. So yum. Anyway, but it definitely feels more like a scent than any sort of, I don't really care about other stuff. But it's really encouraging to hear about the purging sort of coming to an end in that way, because man, the purge is real.
Yeah.
Oh, that sweat is a different level.
So I'm gonna be free pitting it through this period. Lucky Mike.
Let me know how it goes. It's exciting because
I still wear scents. I think they just don't want me to put them on my pits.
Lymph nodes.
Lymph nodes, exactly. Like keep those clear, which makes sense to me.
I've actually started dry brushing. Speaking of nodes, lymph node. Yeah, lymph node. I was like, did I just call it an astrological term? I've been dry brushing, and it feels like, I don't know, it feels nice. I don't know that I notice a huge difference, but I feel like it is making a difference, which makes me feel better mentally or whatever. I'm like, I'm doing something good for my body. And so I'm like, I don't know.
Dry brushing is when you brush your skin in a circular motion around your body and it drains the lymphatic system.
Yeah, I don't necessarily, I do like circular motions in certain places, but like if it's just my arms and my legs, I kind of go straight up and,
Okay.
and I
I,
start at the
I
soles of my feet. I don't fucking know.
don't know
I'm
what
just
it is.
but like circular motions on my like tummy or like hips or whatever, where it
Okay.
feels easier to do it that way. And then I don't know, I just kind of put them everywhere. Once I learned that like the breasts get drained into by both your neck lymph nodes and your armpit lymph nodes. And I was like, you know what, let me just start the process of like get the skin and the blood flow moving, and it feels good anyway. It's just kind of like a little bit of an exfoliant, and it just kind of is like, I didn't realize I was itchy until I started dry brushing. Like, ooh, it's not, I'm like scratching an itch I didn't even know I had. And then I just spend extra time on my my armpits, and then like just some more time on the girls, get them kind of draining if they need to. I don't know, just something. Cause I'm sort of experimenting being more in touch with my body in ways that I just was foreign to me before. And so any sort of act of like touching it in different ways that I've never have, I feel a little awkward talking about it, but anyway, it's really good because it shouldn't be awkward, but I still have some of that. So making myself talk about it out loud, but it's good. It feels nice to have that dry brushing routine just before a shower. It's like, okay, yeah.
And what's the brush?
I think it's like it's a coarse brush, so it's not like soft and silky. It's supposed to like stimulate the blood flow and something else. I don't really know. It's supposed to be not itchy, but like I don't know if it's like boar's hair. I don't know that it's boar's hair, but it's something very like it's scratchy, but it still feels good. I don't know why. And a lot of places, like if you go, I bought mine off of Thrive Market, which is the online grocery store that has like a lot of gluten-free stuff that I shop from, and all the cacao that I buy from there. But they had, and you just literally, it's called a dry brushing brush. I should have looked at the ingredients, whatever, components, but I have no idea what kind of hair it is, but it's definitely prickly.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I've been doing more regular exfoliation with all over the body with a washcloth in the shower lately.
Ooh, nice.
And I feel like it's like that similar thing. It's like get things going.
Hell yeah.
And then I always have my biotuning work that I do now in the morning and at night.
Oh, so nice. I love when you have that during our
sonic
conversations.
slider.
What's
now I forget. Okay, let me pick it up again.
I should know. You told me, I think, like a few times, and it slips out of my head every time.
Me too. It is 93.96.
Okay.
The 12th harmonic of the Schumann resonance, the electromagnetic pulse of the earth.
Interesting.
Anyway, I really like it.
Yeah, me too. Even though I can't hear it or anything, it still feels like the vibrations come to me through the ethers.
I thought of a little game to play.
Oh God. Oh, here we go.
It's a version of Fuck, Marry, Kill, but it's Fuck, Marry, Portal, where you just send them away through a portal to another dimension to be less. I mean, you can, if you want to kill, you can.
I like Portal. I think that's a good update to that game.
Slightly less.
No, here we go.
Okay, so Fuck, Marry, Portal, a gnome, a centaur, and a fairy.
Oh shit! I don't want to portal any of those.
I mean, no, that's fair.
No, but I have to. Okay, that's not part of the game. You have to like that's why it's fun. Okay. I don't know that. Oh man. Oh, I'm pausing too long for the freaking. I think. Why can I not? Okay, let me, this is terrible. I'm terrible at this game because I think too much about it.
Is there any one of them that does jump out at you with an answer?
Well, it's so weird because like I don't want to actually be married. And so I'm like, I'm thinking too hard about, you know what I mean? It's so stupid. Just get over it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can use a different word for that one too.
That's fine. Oh my God. I think it'd be cool hanging out with a centaur, like long term. So maybe marry the centaur. Fairies are like, I think they'd be good for a short time. But the poor gnomes, I love the gnomes. I was like going to marry the gnome, but I don't know if I have to portal the gnome out, but like the gnomes have been so good. Okay, how about I marry the gnome, just hang out short amount of time with the centaur, and then we'll toss it. Sorry, fairy. No, oh my gosh. Anyway, that'll be, I am terrible at this because I always am like, but they're gonna feel bad, and I feel bad.
I think a couple more, but I feel like I'm giving you analysis paralysis.
I know. Keep going though and see if like any of them get easier. Good Lord. At least the audience can play along. They'll be like, throw the gnome in the portal. Who cares?
What did you end up doing? You ended up keeping the gnome. And the centaurs
make a really good home.
Fuck buddy.
You know? Yeah.
And then the fairies got to skedaddle.
Gotta go. Oh. But I was going to tell a story about the fairies that make them really fun, and now I feel bad. But okay, we're going to leave it at that because we cannot.
What's the fairy story?
Well, I was watching a video last night about Mandela effects and stuff, and there's one guy that reads the Akashic records, and anyway, a lot of his stuff resonates with me. And he was talking about passenger pigeons and how there used to be like millions, billions, whatever the fuck amount of passenger pigeons, and like they suddenly disappeared. Like it was so weird. Like they'd been killed off or whatever. And I remember reading about this in elementary school, and I just got so heartbroken and haunted by this passenger pigeon disappearance. And like the story of the last passenger pigeon that was, you know, alive after, I think he died in like 1914 or something, or somewhere around the end of World War I or something like that. This past century, but still recent memory. And I never knew why. It was that and the dodo bird. I was like, why the fuck am I feeling the extinction of these animals so deeply? Because I didn't know. But apparently, according to this, you know, video, this guy was reading the Akashic records, and he was like, the passenger pigeons are tied to magic. And the more passenger pigeons that are there at the earth, you know, here in the earth, it's like those are pieces of magic, and they're tied to fairies and all the beautiful energy in that way. And so according to him, they were killed off by the dark forces so that we wouldn't have magic, blah, 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 whatever. So the Mandela effect is like, some of us are coded to be able to not reverse engineer. It's not like Jurassic Park, but it kind of it's like bring them back from the dead or whatever, but in an energetic way, by sending them energies through the time stream to like a past timeline where we can send them like what did he say, immunity and resistance or something like that, to sort of help fight the extinction event, and they can actually appear again on the timeline in the future timelines. And by doing that, the fairies want to thank you for doing that. So in exchange, because you've sort of paid energetically to bring back the magical passenger pigeons, they want to pay you with magic. So the more anyway, so that was a cute little story that I heard last night that really spoke to me. And I was like, oh, I love the fairies. Let me just bring back the passenger pigeons and magic, because I apparently love passenger pigeons and never really knew why. So who knows?
Yeah, I mean, you have so much pigeon connection. That's really interesting. That also makes me think of that meme that I sent you or not meme. It was just like a image.
Oh, the bird vision.
About bird vision, where it's like an image of a starling, how we see it as humans, and where starlings are like small, they're like dark black colored birds with sparkles in them is how we see them. But the way that other birds see them is like they've got all this rainbow shimmer colors all over them. And I was like, damn, I want bird vision.
I know.
And that made me think of like fairies and because they're so colorful and like bird vision.
When I saw that dead starling on my walk while I was still living in Montana, like about the time we started doing like military syncs and like all this stuff about, anyway, starling was for me was our friend Linda or whatever, because that's her.
Yes. Oh, she's the one who posted the
oh, interesting. Well, when I
meme.
saw it, it looked, I remember you asked like, oh, what did it look like? And I was like, oh, it was black and it looked like it had rainbow holographic feathers. And you sent the starling and I was like, oh yeah, that is what it looks like. So I think our bird vision is coming online, like you said.
Which must be some kind of fairy vision too. That's really fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Fuck cohabitate portal. A goblin, a dragon, and a dryad.
A dryad is like a tree spirit thing. Okay, wait. Goblin's got to go. Sorry, I can't. Bye, portal, the goblin. Although I know it would be fun. I just like, I can't. Like, it would be too overstimulating. But I love you. I send you with love. Come back another time. I don't know. The dryad, we can cohabitate with the dryad. Who was the other one? Dragon. Dryad. Shit, though. I got to marry the dragon.
Dryad.
Okay, wait. Oh my God. Okay, fine. I'll cohabitate with the dryad because like who doesn't want to live in a tree house? Like, hello. And the dragon can be my, oh God. Yeah. I get so embarrassed so easily about something which you are loving. Yeah, let's bring it. Do more.
like a scaly lover. I think dragons have a very interesting sexual energy. A lot of them. So nice choice.
Yeah.
I mean, hard not to pick an old tree spirit for cohabitation. Like, what's more chill than that?
I'm looking. Yeah, chill is good for sure.
I have some goblin in me, so I have an attraction to it. I mean, Johnny Knoxville to me has always been like pure goblin energy, and well, with a little bit of fairy, and yeah, I find him very attractive.
Sacha Baron Cohen feels very goblin-y to me too.
Oh, nice.
Which I like him a lot. So I shouldn't be like, I'm not dismissing all goblins, but goddamn, not all goblins.
Not all goblins. Okay, final one.
Okay.
Elf. I know that one's kind of broad, like 8 zillion types of elf, apparently.
I know.
Water nymph, manticore.
Wait, I have heard the word manticore, but I'm not sure I actually could pull up an image for myself. I could probably fucking Google it. How about that?
Head of a human, body of a lion, scorpion tail that can shoot poisonous barbs.
Whoa, that's pretty cool.
It's a chimera.
Okay.
Oh, except it's male. Apparently a chimera is a female. And a manticore is male. I don't know. But I've seen female manticores before in politics. So
well, they can exist on our timeline. So who cares what the internet says? We know for reals. Okay, water nymph. What was the third one or second one?
Elf and manticore.
Elf. Oh, water nymph was the second one. Elf. Okay. I mean, the manticore is pretty fucking cool. I might need to like, it'd be pretty cool to live in the water with a water nymph. And then like, man, I'm such there's so many things that could be called here. It's so funny, but I probably would have the short term with the manticore and then bye elf.
Nice.
All my little euphemisms for like not wanting to say I'll have sex with, like I can't even do it. I get so squeamy. I'm like, I'm not gonna. I'm such a fucking Aquarius. Okay. Anyway.
What
about
I like that you I like that you chose to cohabitate with the nymph and go in the water realm. That's fun. I just realized looking back at the first one, I put the three main components of Mike. This gnome, he's like a satyr, which is kind of like a centaur, and fairy. So anyway, apparently
you want all of them.
Yeah,
I mean, I kind of want, that's the thing, I want all of them too, and it's so hard to, I'm like, but I like all of them. Okay, anyway, go ahead.
But elf, nymph, manticore, I think for me, that one's actually the one like the least for me, where I would like kind of portal away two of them.
Yeah.
Like,
man, I was trying to follow the rules. I should have broken them and been like, I'll portal them all, bitch.
I think I vibe the most with, depending on the type of elf, because I'm got a lot of elf in me.
That's what she said.
Do I find elves sexy though? I don't know if I find them very sexy. I don't know if any of these feel sexy to me. That's the tough one. I guess I'd fuck an elf, but oh no, I've got no. This one's really hard. I feel the waffling in myself. Okay, manticore is going away. It's too much intensity.
Much. Yeah.
And I'll dabble in the nymph's pleasures and settle down with the elf.
Awesome. That's a good one. See, I can see timelines where I would want a combination of all three, which is why I can't pick, because I'm like, but I don't want to commit to one timeline anyway.
That's where I'm feeling today, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
there you go. Okay,
right, where I'm feeling today is that. The manticore is that, you know, that movie Onward is the Pixar movie Onward that I really, really love. And it's two young elf brothers on a quest, and there's a manticore character in that, and she's very cute and fun and
that's awesome.
Female, that's what brought manticores back into my. I was like, I had to pick it up. Yep.
Cool. That's a good game. I like that.
Yeah, and I also really have fun trying to pick out what people are when I see them.
Oh yeah.
What jumps out at me. Okay, so we were going to talk about the Rat King Oracle deck and creative stuff. But first we have a word from our sponsors. This one's like, it's like an actual PSA like servicey. Well, I think the other one was a PSA too, but okay. It's from Electrolytes, which we've been talking about a lot lately. Basically, I was like, what is this message? I feel like the Electrolytes are trying to just send some messages through.
Talk to us.
When your cells are feeling drained, Electrolytes charge them up again. We keep the currents flowing through your bod so water can transmit signals from your inner god. Now, if you feel depleted, just sing this tune to bring yourself back into balance soon. My cells are plump and well hydrated. My mineral levels support my God vibration. I'm naturally drawn to the foods and drinks that keep me feeling like a powerful lynx.
That was awesome. So, these are the best sponsor ads ever.
So that little song is something I think, especially right now, as this like the body upgrades are happening and stuff. It's just like I'm just getting a lot of messages to keep the electrolytes going, keeping ourselves really hydrated. So that song is like literally like to bring you back into balance, that little
God
last
mode.
part. My cells are plump and well hydrated. My mineral levels support my God vibration. I'm naturally drawn to the foods and drinks that keep me feeling like powerful links. So say that or sing that to yourself anytime you feel like you need a boost.
Channel that electrolyte energy, baby.
It was interesting because I didn't really know much about electrolytes, and then it's like literally all about like the electricity moving through your body and like the water and stuff. And I was like, oh, that, I mean, and then the channel message came through, and I was like, oh, that totally makes sense about why they're so interesting and important.
Yeah, I love electricity. Oh my god, such a cool consciousness. Anyway,
and you had, I looked up I don't think it was for me because it was like the shipping fees to the Canada, the thing you recommended, but they looked really good. It was, what's his name?
Yeah, Laird Hamilton. Oh my gosh, it's so, I feel like an old person because like nobody knows who this is. I mean, he is also old too, but like I was so sure that everybody knows Laird Hamilton. He's like this, he was part of a documentary called Endless Summer, and I think that was filmed in the 60s, maybe 70s, something like that. I can't remember. And I love that movie. And I just was always, I've been aware of Laird Hamilton forever. And so I just kind of assumed he was like some worldwide famous whatever. But anyway, he has this company that like electrolytes, mushroom coffees, creamers. I think they do oatmeal now and some protein bars. I mean, like they have expanded further, the use. When I started getting the electrolytes, it was literally just the hydrate electrolytes and then like mushroom creamers and stuff. And then it's since grown, and I don't buy them anymore because they're very expensive, but they are the best. They taste good. And they have like the best sweeteners because it's all from fruit instead of sugar, or refined sugar. And anyway, this is not an ad. This is not sponsored by Laird Hamilton's company, but I wish it was.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
They are the best electrolytes. So if you're looking for good electrolytes and you're
maybe
willing
one
to
day.
spend, yeah, exactly, exactly. So I'll get back into that later.
I like my little jingles apparently.
It is my favorite segment of our show, I gotta say. Continues to be the best.
Okay, right.
Creative
projects that we're working on, creative process. Do you want to talk at all about how you've been feeling about the Rat King Oracle deck, or the last time that you interacted with it?
Yeah, well, the last I heard from the Rat King was was this last week, where there was like, I was woken out of a deep ass sleep in the middle of the night by noises upstairs. And there's critters up here, whatever. But like, I think that was last week. And I was like, it was just the dead of night. And I heard like, just like little twitterings and like little thumps upstairs, but like bigger than a mouse. So I was like, okay, well, this has to be the Rat King. Like, because anytime I hear something up there, it's usually a mouse sized noise. And I'm like, instead of I still get annoyed, but I'm like, all right, I know that I'm hearing something from the Rat King, it's fine. And usually some messages will come in later, like either that week or another sometime, I'll get something that makes sense, a download, whatever. So I don't hear it all the time anymore, thank God, because I used to think I just had like a mouse infestation, which is also probably true, but whatevs. But this loud ass noise was definitely, I was like, okay, this has to be the Rat King. So I don't know about, I haven't gotten anything super, I don't know. There hasn't been like major downloads yet or anything, but maybe it's like I almost said new moon again. Maybe it's a full moon kind of thing where it's coming in. I don't ever put time limits on it. It's like, it gets here when it gets here, So that's the last I heard from him. And I hadn't really been in touch much for a while. It's been like, it's months actually. And so when I had that dream, I know we've talked about it on the podcast, but for anybody who didn't hear that episode or whatever, I had this dream that sort of culminated in Zaddy Cat being like, I think you're supposed to make that Rat King Oracle deck, because it was a message about making an Oracle deck, about how, the Rat King is the most powerful card in the deck, and, the underworld stuff that most people just want to ignore and be like, oh, it's just trash and sewers and weird and gross. And I'm like, that's my world. So why not make a Oracle deck with the Rat King stuff? And so Zaddy Cat has this artwork that we're going to be using. And it just felt like this natural but I was so excited about it when we first started talking about it, and I'm still excited about it, but it's like the inspiration was there when we first started talking about it. And like the next day I started writing all these notes, and I have the story of the Rat King and a couple of the other characters. And then since then, I think it's just been like me going back into processing shit that I have to clear out of my body, like the security issues and the safety, you know, like the root chakra stuff. Oh my God, that has been so hard and like such a huge focus the last few months. And so I got really being part of this process is like, I got, I guess scared is the word. I don't really know, just like nervous, whatever, about like, oh my God, did I lose it? Like I haven't felt any inspiration to write any notes. And then I'm like worried about how that makes you feel about me not being excited about my project. And I know we've talked about this, all this stuff before. So I'm sort of just recapping for anyone listening, because it's like, it's hard to work on these creative collaborative stuff sometimes, because we're all programmed to feel the pressure of like, we got to perform, or we got to do it this way, or we got to, you know, be whatever your pressures are, they come up, and all the baggage comes up with the programming and conditioning about working with group stuff. So it's really awesome that we have the relationship that we have, because we can just like say out loud what our like some of our hurdles that we're going through, or like my insecurities, or whatever it is. And it's like, it's fine. Like at this point, we both know that stuff happens when it's supposed to happen. But I was struggling with that because I felt the same capitalistic programming of like, well, I committed to this, I got to do it now, and it's got to be, it's the creative channel that's just open, and the ideas are in that creative channel, and they kind of come to the people who resonate at that frequency, so they know that they can be birthed through those particular channels, as in like humans in this case, I'm talking about me and you. And it's not like those ideas ever go away. They can transmute or become different or whatever, because I've already started noticing that some of the other notes that I was writing later, like a month or so after that initial burst of like, here's everything coming out, it was like it took a different format even than my other notes did. And I was like, okay, well, this is just going all over the place, which again is fine, but I feel like some of what these past few months have also been, in addition to the safety and security stuff, has also been like a little bit of a lesson on that creative stuff, because I've never really felt creative. I've never really felt like I had stuff to work on or wanted to produce or any of that stuff. I also have an empty 5th house in my astrology chart, so that totally makes sense. But it's not that I'm not creative. It's just like, it's not a consistent huge exclamation point of a presence in my life. And so I need to just work with those energies and be like, it's here when it's here, and it's gone when it's gone. And it doesn't mean it's gone forever and you are a failure. It just means like you're taking a break, and the break can be months or years or whatever it is. I don't think it'll be years. So, but yeah, anyway, so it's the notes that I started taking were just so fun. And the way that they just naturally flowed out of me, I was like, holy shit, it can be this easy to just let words come out, when before I'll try to like edit in my head before I write stuff down or blah, blah. I was like, nope, don't even think about it. Just let the words come out. And I was like, dang, I kind of like all this stuff, not that I won't be editing more, but still, it was a really cool feeling that I've not ever had access to before, because I've come at creative projects with like, oh, must do good job, or must, perform to expectations or whatever it is. And this time I really just relaxed, because one, this idea came to me in a dream, like, what the fuck, I've never worked with anything like that before. That was cool as hell. And I was like, well, this is already different. And then just the allowing, the surrender to that creative process. I've heard artists talk about this before, and I sort of understood what they meant. Like I could understand the intellectual version of what they meant, but I've never felt it like this. So this project is like mind-blowing to me, because it's for me, it's expanding me way beyond anything I ever thought I could do. And so yeah, I don't really know, I kind of rambled in on side quests and stuff with that, but like I can feel it building again, as far as wanting to come through. I'm not sure when that's going to actually come through, but I at this point realize that I'm not gonna, it doesn't help to push it or whatever. So you just like let it come when it's supposed to come. So I don't know. Yeah. What do you think?
I also think like there's a big component where that's musical. Like what I think is interesting about this deck is it's very multimedia.
Yeah.
And like there's like a spoken part where you're using your voice to communicate things, and like maybe potentially sounds, music scapes that go with the different cards and stuff. So it's really cool in that way, that just uses like all of your different creative portals. And what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, it's such a cyclical thing, creative work. It like you have to like have this dormant times and then the active times, and it's really can be a trip to like flow with it and then not feel panicky and stuff. Like
panicky, that's the word I was looking for. Yeah.
I also think we've been getting with the podcast and stuff just like more and more comfortable holding our own frequencies together, because I think we talked about this at some point. It feels like a partner deck to me, and like it's going to have paradoxical energy to it in the messages because you and I communicate at different frequencies, so that's part of it too, is like getting more comfortable with that multiple truths kind of energy to the deck. And I'm still, I think right now, like my head is a bit more, or my energy is a bit more focused on the book. But I'm still feel like I'm like moving towards knowing exactly how my parts of the deck are going to come through, and how much, like how much text there's going to be. Because I have worked, my computer just went off.
Interesting.
I do a lot of written stuff, and then the artwork that I do that we talked about being part of the deck is like one of the few things that I do that's doesn't have that written aspect, that kind of is like more linear and more coherent. It's just way more open space for me to play with, because I'm used to creating like a story. I don't know, there's just such a difference between words and images for me, at least. And so at first I thought kind of the classic thing of like, when you have an oracle card, like you have the image, but then you also have like the text that explains it or whatever. And then I was like, I don't even know yet what it's going to be, if it's going to be very, very open-ended. So we'll see, but it's fun. Because I did those drawings, or I've been doing those drawings just for fun, and like to tap into. I get a lot of channeled messages and stuff through them, but it's cool to think that they can also be these oracle cards for people and stuff, and they hold that energy too.
I'm so fucking excited. And that's the other thing about that I wanted to say, actually, is I was stuck a little bit at first in the thinking that it had to be, like you said, like an oracle card deck, and then the text matches and this and that. And then we started to think like, what if they are different? What if it's not like a typical oracle deck at all? What if it's more like, it was your suggestion, like not that we're going to make it a D&D playbook or whatever, but something like that, where it's just totally not what it should be or whatever in the old definition of what an oracle deck is. And then like the music started to come through. I wrote the Rat King song, and I was like, damn, okay, maybe I can have more than one, and then like a meditation maybe, or something, or like an underworld journey or whatever it is. And so
it's so cool.
Breaking out of those boxes of like what you think an Oracle deck should be or whatever your project is. It's like you can make it anything. There are no fucking rules, man. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm someone who has grown up like following rules like so much that I'm like, oh, what you can, and I don't know, that's like the Virgo stellium where I'm like, no, I gotta stay in the lines and have the, what do I have to build with and whatever. And then the Aquarius is like, but we don't have to fit in a box. And but anyway, so it's really nice to be able to think differently about creative projects, because I feel like I just haven't done a lot with that. So
Yeah.
times are
It
changing.
feels very open-ended and cool. Do you want to talk a little bit about some of the other potential creatures in the deck?
Yeah.
Even if they're not the ones that end up in the final, but things that came through.
Yeah. Sorry, throat chakra shit. So I wrote the notes for, I think, dung beetle, millipede, centipede were like sort of together, I think, or something, or at least in my, I don't know if I've even said this out loud or not, but I was like, I think they're like cousins or something. I didn't, anyway, what else did I write about? I think I wrote something for spider, but I'm not sure. I love what I think it's going to change somewhat because it didn't come out quite the way I was imagining it, but like that energy is there. Actually, let me pull up a note and see if I can find it in my notes, but I'm not sure it's here. Anyway, yeah. We also, oh craps, I can't remember the freaking characters. But they're all like underworldy. Cockroach. I did write one for cockroach. Oh my God. And I really liked the cockroach one because it's like, I mean, I know how we all feel about cockroaches, but like I love the,
Well,
yeah.
something really cool that happened was, so you were kind of vibing and integrating the energy of each of the species, and then some, and also then like focusing your creative attention and actually like doing output for some of them at the same time as my person that I was working with on the book, who's the illustrator, was sending me illustrations. And then the creatures would show up in her illustrations, like in little extras that I hadn't asked for. So there is a dung beetle who's on an iPhone in the book. In one of the illustrations, there's a little rat eating a donut. And then all of a sudden at the end, we had to change an illustration and she added a little cockroach graffiti artist in an alley. It's like so cute how they, there's bats too, which is just,
bat is one.
I don't know if it'll be in the deck, but it's very much your energy in the shape of bats in this cave at one point. So that was really fun to see too, like just, and I think maybe a little spider in that cave, I'm not sure. But like that crossover was so magical and so cool.
It's pretty fun.
Like the Rat King Oracle deck just already started putting out tendrils in the illustrations of the book.
Yeah. It was actually soothing to hear you talk about that and like show me the images and stuff, because those are about the times I would start to get panicky about not moving forward or not doing enough or being inspired or whatever. And then you'd be like, look, here's a dung beetle in the illustration. I was like, oh my God, the Rat King is still alive. Thank fuck. Like, it's fine. I can just relax. It's okay.
Yeah, I think, it's just very cyclical and very natural for things to take their time. I've had like story ideas come to me and then I didn't even work on them for like a couple of years, and it wasn't the time yet to be in the energy of that. And then there's the time when it's supposed to actually go out more into the, so there's all the things. I think you were really helping me. So this children's book, Mara and the Bad Wolf, that I wrote, I can't remember when I wrote it. Was it 2021? Anyway. And then I found an illustrator, and then it was like, it's been like the fundraising campaign, like kind of like took me into a very 3D practical headspace that was like, whoa. And all that stuff. So, you were really helpful in reminding me that these things just have their own energy and they're just flowing through us and flowing through our unique prisms to
Mhm.
get out into the external reality, which is, I'm really calling in more of that perspective and like embodying that more going forward as like my main way of thinking about my projects, is that they are just flowing through me and they have their own will kind of to get out into the world, so I don't
Yes.
have to worry about it
Yeah.
so much, and their own timing and their own energy and momentum and stuff that doesn't all have to be generated by me. That's where I was getting hung up with stuff.
Same.
Was
Same.
it felt very like everything was on my shoulders to figure out all of the stuff, and how was I going to do it, and my brain was getting like overwhelmed.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was a
Yeah.
really helpful POV. And I think yeah, once I've like gotten through that, it's going to be easier for me to go back to those art pieces. I haven't actually
Mhm.
done a drawing. Well, I did a little fast collage the other day just to like, for fun, but like a real MS Paint drawing in, I think it was April or May, where I did that last one, which was a little cloud dancing lizard being with the dragonflies. And it felt
So
really
cool.
like, I'm not even sure if I'm going to still do drawings in MS Paint.
Mhm.
If it's time for me to move on to like a new medium, I'm not sure.
Mhm.
That
Interesting.
one has felt very safe for me. It's always felt very safe because basically it's like my computer from like over a decade ago, that version of MS Paint
Yeah.
that has like very limited options, and then I use a mouse to draw, so I'm not using like a stylus or anything. So it's even more like
Old school,
restrictive.
baby. Mhm.
So it takes off. So I can always say, well, the reason that
Yeah.
this looks this way is because I'm drawing it with a mouse with MS Paint. So I can take all of that burden that I put on myself in perfectionism of how I think I should be drawing. It also is interesting because it like, what I find is that I think I'm attracted to drawing things in a very 2D kind of like, what's the word for cave painting, kind of like that sort of style. But I was putting all this pressure on myself to do like classical draw, things with shading and all this stuff, and that's not really what wanted to be expressed through me. And MS Paint allowed me to just do that, which has been really nice. Okay, so this conversation has been helpful. It is inducing a powerful urge to purge, which means that we're going to have to wrap up this episode. But I look forward to talking more about the creative process in future episodes. It's been really cool, but I'm like, I gotta go run to the bathroom.
You need some of our other previous sponsor, Ascendrin. We can
exactly
replay that episode. Well,
as we were talking,
nice
my
to talk to
stomach's
you.
like blorp, blorp, blorp,
Okay.
blorp. Well,
Burp, burp.
I will just,
Time to go.
I will stop the recording, and put it on pause, and then we can keep chatting.
Sounds good.
If that's okay with you. But
of course.
Actually, no, this was really nice to talk about, and it's getting me creatively fired up.
Yeah.
So it's been nice hanging with y'all, space kittens. If you have any fuck cohabit portal suggestions of beings that you'd like to hear our verdicts
watch
on,
me squirm about,
or if you have your own verdicts on the ones we've shared, share it with us by all means. And love you, space kittens. Okay, I really gotta go. Bye.